The night arrives gently in the Pokémon world. Not all at once, but slowly, like a soft blanket being pulled up over the land. The sky deepens from pale blue to lavender, then into a calm, endless indigo. A round moon rises, quiet, patient, and kind, spreading silver light across rooftops, rivers, and fields. In a small town at the edge of the forest, windows glow warmly before fading one by one. Doors are locked, lanterns dim, and the world exhales. Tonight is not a night for fear. It is a night for rest. Sleepy cuties of the evening. Near a little garden path, a Pichu curls up inside a flower pot, its tiny cheeks no longer sparking, only glowing softly with warmth. Its ears twitch once, twice, then settle. Beside the Pokémon Center, a Togepi rocks gently in its shell, humming a half-dreamed lullaby it doesn't even know it remembers. A pair of Eevee siblings share a single scarf, tails overlapping, breathing in perfect rhythm. In, out, in, out. Their dreams are already beginning. On a fence nearby, a Meowth pretends to stay awake, eyes half open, tail flicking lazily, until the night finally wins and its chin dips forward with a soft thump. No one laughs. The night is kind. The town settles. A Chansey quietly finishes tidying the Pokémon Center, moving slower now, careful not to wake anyone. She turns off the last light and hums as she goes, a sound warm and steady like a heartbeat. Outside, a Growlithe curls at the doorway, tail flickering once before dimming like a sleepy ember. The fire never goes out, but tonight it burns low and safe. Somewhere above, a Noctowl watches silently from a rooftop, eyes glowing not with menace, but with watchfulness. The town sleeps because someone always stays awake. And far beyond the houses, the forest waits. Whispers in the forest. The trees stand tall and still, leaves barely moving. The forest does not sleep the way towns do. It dreams. Soft footsteps pad across mossy ground, a Bulbasaur returning home, vine wrapped gently around a smaller Pokémon to guide them through the dark. Fireflies drift like floating stars. A Oddish nestles deeper into the soil, leaves folding closed. A Shuppet floats between branches, curious but calm, feeding only on the faintest worries that still linger from the day, never enough to harm, just enough to help them fade. The forest understands balance, and tonight, something else stirs, not dangerous, just watchful. A gentle mystery begins, near the oldest tree where roots twist like sleeping serpents. A soft glow pulses once, then fades. It is not bright. It is not sudden. Just enough to be noticed, if you're paying attention. A Misdreavus hovers nearby, humming quietly to herself, braids swaying like drifting smoke. She pauses, sensing the change, tilting her head. Still watching, she whispers, not afraid. High above, the moon reflects in her eyes. This glow has appeared before, only on peaceful nights. Only when the world feels safe enough to rest. No one speaks of it aloud. But some Pokémon remember. Dreams begin to bloom. Back in town, dreams deepen. A Snorlax near the outskirts exhales a long, satisfied sigh, each breath shaking the ground just a little. With every breath, the night grows steadier, calmer. A Jigglypuff hums in its sleep, not singing, just breathing musically, the way lullabies are born. Children dream of adventures they'll have someday. Pokémon dream of warm paths and familiar voices. And beneath it all, like a soft echo under the earth, the forest listens, a promise of protection. As clouds drift lazily across the moon, Shadows stretch, but they do not threaten. They protect. Along the edge of town, unseen by sleeping eyes, a few figures move quietly. A Dusclops, standing still as a statue. A Absol, watching the horizon. And the humming Misdreavus, drifting back toward the glow near the old tree. They are not here to frighten. They are here to keep the night gentle. Because some nights are meant for healing. Some nights are meant for remembering. And this night is only just beginning. The moon climbs higher. The glow pulses softly once more. And the Pokémon world sleeps on, safe, warm, and watched over. The night deepens, but never darkens. The moon drifts higher, wrapped in a thin veil of mist, its silver light softening the edges of the world. Nothing sharp exists anymore. Only gentle shapes. Only quiet movement. The town sleeps more deeply now. Even the dreams have slowed, stretching into long, peaceful scenes where nothing needs to happen quickly. Mist along the forest path. At the edge of the forest, mist begins to gather. It rolls slowly between tree trunks, careful not to disturb the moss or fallen leaves. It does not hide anything. It simply blurs the way tired eyes do when they're ready to close. A small lantern flickers within the fog. It belongs to a lampent, floating gently above the forest path. Its flame is low and warm, glowing like a bedtime candle rather than a fire. With each slow drift forward, the mist parts politely, then settles again behind it. Lampent is not hunting tonight. Lampent is guiding. A lost, but not afraid. Somewhere among the trees, a little phantom stands still. It is not crying. It is not scared. Just unsure. The forest feels bigger at night, even when it's kind. The shadows are longer, and the paths don't always look the same as they do in daylight. Phantom listens. There is a soft hum, a familiar warmth. The lantern light glows brighter for just a moment, and Lampent slows its pace, waiting without pressure. Phantom drifts closer, tiny wooden feet barely touching the ground. The lantern's glow wraps around it like a blanket. No words are needed. The Watchers of the Night. High above, on a rocky ledge overlooking both forest and town, Absol lifts its head. The breeze carries familiar scents. Dew, moss, distant chimney smoke. No danger, no warnings in the air, just stillness. Absol relaxes slightly, but does not sleep. Nearby, the tall shape of Dusclops stands unmoving, one eye glowing faintly. Inside its body, the echoes of the night pass through and disappear, leaving only calm behind. These Pokémon do not haunt. They hold the quiet together. Lanterns multiply. Farther down the forest path, more lights begin to appear. A Litwick floats near a fallen log, its flame flickering gently as a hoot-hoot dozes above it, balanced perfectly on one foot. Another Litwick drifts closer to the old tree, the same ancient one where the soft glow pulsed earlier. Its roots hum faintly now, as if responding to the lights. The forest feels organized, as if every gentle shadow has found its place. Dreams and gentle hauntings. Back in town, a child stirs in their sleep. They dream of walking through the forest, but not alone. Small lights guide the way, floating at shoulder height, never too bright. In the dream, the child never feels lost. Nearby, a Gengar sits cross-legged on a rooftop, watching dreams drift upward like invisible bubbles. Gengar smiles softly. Not mischievous tonight, but fond. Some dreams need a little darkness to feel safe. The old tree stirs. At the heart of the forest, the old tree's glow returns. Slow, steady, breathing. Misdreavus returns, floating just above the roots. Lampant arrives soon after. Phantump safely beside it now, warmth restored. The glow is not a warning. It is a reminder that long ago this forest made a promise to shelter those who wander, to soften the night, to never let fear be the final feeling before sleep. The tree hums once more, satisfied. A night held gently. The mist begins to thin. Lanterns dim slightly, conserving their glow. Lampant pauses, then slowly turns back toward the deeper forest, knowing Phantump will find its way now. The watchers remain in place. The sleepers breathe evenly. Nothing dramatic happens, and that is exactly how the night wants it. The moon watches over everything. Town, forest, shadows, and light, until even the glow beneath the old trees settles into a peaceful rest. The night continues without hurry. The moon, now high and round, drifts behind a thin curtain of cloud, dimming the world just enough to soften every edge. The forest breathes slowly. Branches creak, leaves sigh, roots settle deeper into the earth. Nothing rushes. Nothing needs to. A path that feels unfamiliar. Far from the town's quiet streets, deeper into the forest where the trees grow closer together, a small Pokémon wanders alone. It is a Cubone. Its steps are slow, careful. The bone helmet rests gently over its eyes, protecting but also dimming the world just a little. The path it followed earlier feels different now, curved where it once felt straight, quieter where it once echoed. Cubone is not frightened, but it is tired. The kind of tired that makes the forest feel larger than it is. Cubone stops and listens. Crickets chirp softly. Somewhere far away, an owl calls. Closer still, the earth hums, a low, steady sound, like a lullaby sung by roots and stones. Cubone sits, just for a moment. The forest notices. The forest always notices. A nearby Paris pauses mid-step, sensing the stillness. A Venonat blinks its wide eyes, then turns away respectfully, dimming its glow. Above, unseen among the branches, Misdreavus drifts silently, watching without interfering. Lost does not always mean in danger. Sometimes it simply means between places. A gentle guide appears. From between the trees, a soft sound emerges. Not footsteps, not voices. A rhythm. Tap-a-tap-a-tap. Cubone lifts its head. Out of the shadows steps a Marowak, older, taller, carrying itself with quiet strength. Its bone club rests against its shoulder, not raised, not threatening. Its eyes are calm, warm. Marowak stops a few steps away, lowering itself slightly so it does not feel large or overwhelming. It does not speak. It simply waits, understanding without words. Cubone stands slowly. The night holds its breath, not with fear, but with attention. Marowak turns and begins to walk unhurried, glancing back just once. The gesture is gentle, unmistakable. This way. Cubone hesitates only a moment before following. Each step feels easier than the last. The path begins to reveal itself again. Stones where stones should be, roots forming natural steps, moonlight slipping through gaps in the canopy. The forest shifts subtly, helping. Others find their way too. Elsewhere, a dry flume floats low over the ground, tugged gently by the breeze. It had wandered too far from the meadow earlier, following a curious thought. A pair of Litwick drift alongside it now, flames small and steady, guiding it back toward open space. In a clearing nearby, a sand shrew curls deeper into the earth, comforted by the distant sound of passing footsteps, knowing it is not alone, even in sleep. The night specializes in quiet reunions. The old tree watches. At the heart of the forest, the ancient tree stirs again. Its glow does not brighten, but deepens like a slow inhale. Roots hum softly, responding to movement, to connection, to paths being restored. Misdreavus circles once, content. Lampant drifts closer, flame dim and steady, sensing the balance returning. The forest does not celebrate loudly. It simply settles. Home is a feeling first. Marowak slows as the trees thin. Ahead, the forest opens slightly, revealing a familiar ridge, a fallen log shaped just right. A scent Cubone recognizes instantly. Cubone's steps quicken, just a little. Marowak stops at the edge of the clearing. "This is far enough." Cubone turns back. Marowak nods once, slow and reassuring, then steps back into the shadows, becoming part of the forest again, as if it had always belonged there. Because it does. Rest returns to the whirling Cubone curls up safely now, exhaustion finally catching up. The bone helmet slips slightly as sleep arrives. The forest quiets around it. The lantern lights dim further. The watchers remain steady. The town dreams on. Even Absol shifts its stance, sensing nothing but peace ahead. The moon drifts free of cloud once more, bathing everything in silver calm. And beneath it all, the forest hums, pleased, protective, and endlessly patient. The night continues. Unbroken, the night grows quieter still. Not emptier, just deeper. Sounds become softer as if wrapped in cotton. Even the forest's breathing slows, each rustle carefully placed, each sigh measured. This is the hour when dreams loosen their edges, when sleep opens the door. In the town, a window stands slightly open. Moonlight spills across a child's bed where a stuffle plush rests under a relaxed arm. The child's breathing is slow and even. Above the bed, the air shimmers. A driftblim floats just beyond the roofline, tethered gently by invisible currents. It does not descend. It only watches, curious, calm, protective in its own quiet way. Dreams drift upward like soft mist. Driftblim hums, a sound too low to hear, steadying the dream so it does not turn sharp or restless. Kind shadows move. Along an alleyway, shadows stretch long and thin. A bonnet sits near a forgotten toy, button eyes glowing faintly. It reaches out, straightening the toy, brushing off dust that gathered during the day, not out of resentment, out of care. When the job is done, Bonnet fades back into the darkness, its presence leaving behind a strange warmth, like something remembered and forgiven. The forest dreams too. Back beneath the canopy, the forest enters its deepest rest. Trees lean closer together. Roots hum in unison. Fireflies dim their glow until they resemble drifting embers rather than stars. A murkrow shifts on its branch, tucking its head beneath a wing. Nearby, a duskull floats low to the ground, one eye half-lidded, listening to dreams pass through the earth. Some dreams are heavy. Duskull gently absorbs the weight of them, letting the rest drift on lighter than before. The old tree and the whispering glow. At the forest's heart, the old tree stirs once more. The glow beneath its roots returns, not brighter, not urgent, just present. A memory? Misdreavus drifts close, braids swaying slowly. She hums, matching the tree's rhythm, a sound learned long ago. This glow is the echo of countless peaceful nights. Of Pokémon once lost and then found. Of fear softened into understanding. The tree does not speak, but it remembers everything. Dreams that walk the night. In a quiet clearing, a hypno sits cross-legged, pendulum resting against its palm. It does not swing. It does not need to. Dreams come to Hypno willingly. Slow, gentle dreams seeking guidance, not control. Hypno nods, offering calm paths, reassuring ending. Dreams that resolve instead of twist. When a dream is ready, Hypno releases it back into the sleeping world. Satisfied. The town breathes as one. Every house now rests in silence. Pokemon and humans alike breathe together, a soft chorus of life at rest. A Gengar yawns on a rooftop, stretching lazily before melting into shadow. A Snorlax shifts, smiling in its sleep. Even the watchers, Absol, Dusclops, relax their stance, though they do not leave. They never leave. The gentle truth of the night. This is what the night truly is. Not a place for fear, not a time for danger, but a space where shadows help carry worries away, where ghosts remember kindness, where dreams are guided, not haunted. The moon begins its slow descent, and somewhere deep in the forest, the old tree's glow fades once more, satisfied, patient, knowing it will return when needed. The night begins to thin. Not yet morning, but the soft stretch before it. The moon lowers, pale and gentle now, and the stars dim slightly, as if closing their eyes one by one. This is the hour the Guardians cherish most, when the world is most vulnerable. In these final dark hours, sleep is deepest. Dreams slow to a gentle drift, no longer wandering far. The world feels tender, open in the way only true rest allows. Along the forest's edge, Absol shifts position, paws silent against the ground. Its horn catches the faintest starlight. No warnings come, only peace. Absol exhales slowly. Silent sentinels. Near the old stone bridge, Dusclops stands watch, body unmoving, eye glowing faintly like a distant lighthouse. Passing worries, flickers of unease from restless dreams, drift toward it and vanish upon contact. Dusclops does not keep them. It releases them into nothingness, lanterns that never go out. Deep in the forest, a few lampent remain aloft, flames dim but steady. They mark the paths that might be needed before morning. Not many will walk them now, but the paths must still exist. Nearby, a Litwick dozes against a tree root, flame pulsing in time with the earth's heartbeat. The forest hums approval, the return of the glow. At the heart of the woods, the ancient tree responds once more. The glow beneath its roots returns faintly, less a light now, more memory. Miss Drevis drifts close, resting against the trunk, eyes closed. Even spirits need rest. The tree remembers Cubone's footsteps, Phantom's warmth returning. The countless small moments of care stitched into the night. It holds them gently. Dreams settle into stillness. In the town, a child turns in their sleep and smiles. A Hypno nods once from a distant clearing, knowing the dream has reached a peaceful ending. A Banette lingers briefly near a closed door, sensing no unfinished feelings, then fades away, task complete. Even Gengar curls into its shadow, content. The world prepares to wake. A faint coolness brushes the air. Not cold fresh. Bird Pokémon shift slightly on their branches. Fire types glow a touch brighter, readying themselves. The Guardians do not leave yet. They remain until the very last moment. The promise of morning. As the moon dips below the trees, Absol lifts its head one final time. Still nothing. Good. Dusclops turns slightly satisfied. The lantern flames dim further, trusting daylight to take over. And deep in the forest, the old tree's glow fades completely. Its work done for another night. The world sleeps on, Safe. Whole. Held. The night slowly releases its hold. The stars blink softly one last time, and the moon's silver glow leans toward pale gold. The horizon brightens, hinting at a day yet to come. But the world does not wake all at once. It stretches and breathes, gentle, lingering, savoring the calm before movement begins. The first light touches the forest. Sunlight creeps over the tallest treetops, brushing the leaves with warmth. The mist that lingered all night retreats quietly, rolling like soft clouds back into hidden hollows. A phantom stirs in its mossy nook, stretching tiny limbs. Its eyes open slowly, reflecting the new light, and it yawns, a little ghost of the night now ready for the day. Nearby, a Bulbasaur lifts its head, vines brushing dew from leaves. Morning smells mix with the soft, lingering magic of the night. The forest remembers. Guardians step back. Absol moves to a high ledge overlooking the forest, watching the first rays scatter gold across the ground. Dusclops slowly lowers its eyelid glow. Its task is done. Worries it held, dreams it guided, shadows it softened. All have been returned to peace. Even Misdreavus drifts slowly upward, floating along the soft beams of light, letting the day absorb her calm energy. The guardians of the night step back, unseen by most, their presence lingering only as a warm memory. Pokémon awaken gently. In the village, a Pikachu shakes its ears, yawns, and snuggles closer to its trainer. A Togepi wobbles and rolls slightly, finally settling upright with a sleepy giggle. A Snorlax rumbles softly, opening one heavy eye, then the other, slowly stretching as the warmth of morning touches its fur. Even the smallest creatures, Caterpie, Pidgey, and Jigglypuff, emerge from hidden nooks, blinking into the soft light, their dreams fading into smiles. The forest breathes day. The trees rustle, leaves glinting as morning dew sparkles like tiny lanterns. Fireflies that lingered all night dip into the shadows, finally resting. Bulbasaur, Phantump, and Cubone share the clearing, each aware of the gentle presence of night that passed. Not as something to fear, but as a guardian that guided them through darkness into safety. Even the old tree, whose roots held a soft, glowing memory all night, stands tall and silent, a monument to patience, protection, and calm. The echo of soft night magic. Though the night ends, its magic lingers. The memory of Lampent and Litwick, guiding lost Pokémon through misty paths, of Hypno steering dreams, of Banette and Duskull quietly tidying worries, all of it remains. Those who experienced it will carry it in their hearts, a warmth beneath the skin, a gentle sense of being watched over, a feeling that the world is quietly kind, even in shadow. Last moments of peace. The first sounds of morning, birds calling, a gentle breeze, soft rustle of leaves, do not startle or disturb. They harmonize with the whispers of the night, soft, fading, comforting. Cubone stretches fully and pads toward the edge of the forest. Phantump floats along, waving a tiny branch like a farewell. Even Misdreavus lingers a moment longer, before slipping into a sunbeam, drifting into the warmth of day. The forest exhales. The village stirs. The world wakes slowly, a promise for the next night. Though the day now begins, there is no need to forget the night. Every star, every glowing root, every shadow that moves softly through dreams, all will be ready again when night returns. The guardians will resume their posts. The lanterns will glow. The gentle whispers will drift through dreams. Because the night belongs not to fear, but to care, to comfort, to keep the world safe while it sleeps. Morning brings warmth, and now the sun rises fully. Its light spills into every corner, touching leaves, rooftops, and the small, sleeping Pokémon of the town. The world is safe. The world is calm. The world is ready. Sleep fades, replaced by gentle awareness. But the memory of the night remains, a lullaby whispered in the shadows, a promise kept, a heartwarming comfort that will follow even when the day is bright. The forest is quiet tonight. Mist curls between the trees like a slow river, softening every branch and leaf. The moon hangs low, silver and patient, casting long, gentle shadows that seem alive, but not threatening. This is the hour when the quiet creatures of the night move gently, unseen, watching over the world. A little lost friend. Along a narrow forest path, a small Eevee wanders. Its paws press lightly into the damp earth. Its ears twitch at every distant rustle. Its eyes are wide and curious, but also uncertain. Eevee's trainer is close by, yet lost behind a bend in the path. The fog swallows the familiar shapes of the forest. Eevee pauses, sniffing the air. Its little heart beats faster, not with fear, but with the instinctive sense that someone or something is near. The first shadow appears. High in the trees, a soft rustle. A Mismagius floats silently among the branches, robes of shadow swirling like smoke. Its glowing eyes are the only thing visible in the fog. It is not here to scare. It watches. It waits. It senses the little Eevee, uncertain and alone. With a quiet hum that blends into the forest, Mismagius drifts closer. Its presence is gentle, protective, like a soft blanket wrapping the forest in reassurance, guiding without disturbing. As Eevee takes another hesitant step, a Gengar emerges from a hollowed tree trunk. Its grin is wide, but not menacing. Its form shimmers in and out of the shadows. It doesn't chase or play tricks tonight. It simply positions itself between Eevee and the deeper forest, where thorny bushes and slippery rocks could cause harm. A cool breeze whispers through the leaves, carrying the quiet message, "You are not alone." Tiny hands of protection. Further along the path, the glow of Litwick appears. One by one, its small flames light the way, floating just above the ground. Eevee glances at them, eyes reflecting the gentle light. The shadows do not threaten. They create a trail, a safe path back to the trainer. The night hums softly. The forest seems to lean in, acknowledging the guardians that move unseen, learning the language of shadows. Eevee stops at a fallen log, ears pricked. A rustle comes again. A Banette, usually feared for its eerie appearance, sits quietly on the log, holding a forgotten toy in its stitched hands. It doesn't speak. It doesn't move suddenly. It simply waits, patient, ensuring Eevee has a moment to rest, to breathe, to feel safe. And Eevee senses it. The dark forms, the shadows, they are kind. They are watchers. They are friends. Night's silent watch. Above the path, the trees sway gently. Mismagius, Gengar, and Banette keep their positions, unseen by the wandering Eevee. Litwick's flames flicker, steady and warm. The forest holds its breath, as if understanding that tonight, safety travels in shadows. Eevee takes another careful step, trusting the path, trusting the unseen guides, feeling courage blossom in its tiny chest. The fog lifts slightly, revealing the first familiar shapes of the forest clearing ahead. The guardians remain, shadows lingering, patient, until the little Pokémon reaches the safety of the fog, drifts slowly between the trees, softening the forest into a gentle, gray world. The night is not silent, but every sound is quiet, deliberate, and safe. Leaves rustle, insects hum, and somewhere far above, an owl calls softly. The guardians move unseen, keeping the forest safe for anyone wandering in the dark. A new little wanderer. Along a narrow stream, a tiny piplup waddles hesitantly. Its webbed feet slip on wet stones. It chirps softly, unsure of which way to go. The mist wraps around it like a soft blanket, hiding the path. But the forest has watchers tonight. A silent shadow approaches. From above, a dus noir drifts along the fog. Its massive form moves slowly, almost gliding. One glowing eye scans the path ahead. Dus noir is quiet. It does not speak, does not call attention. It only ensures no danger lies ahead for this small piplup. When a branch hangs too low or a stone threatens a slip, Dus noir shifts imperceptibly, clearing the way with a careful sweep of its spectral arm. Lanterns in the mist. Floating beside the stream, a small group of Litwick hover gently, their flames warm and steady. They drift in a line, showing the safest path along the water, revealing shallow rocks, smooth moss, and safe footing. Each flicker of light feels like a heartbeat, reassuring Piplup that it is not alone. The forest does not feel scary now. It feels watched over, soft and kind. A friend appears unexpectedly. Ahead on a mossy rock, a shuppet hovers. It tilts its head, curious, but there is no mischief in its gaze tonight. It floats close, guiding Piplup away from a patch of wet roots that could cause a fall. The two form a silent bond. One small wanderer, one quiet protector. Piplup chirps softly, realizing that some shadows are friends, not foes. The heart of protection. Deeper in the forest, Miss Magius glides silently between trees, checking paths for any other lost souls. Gengar crouches on a low branch, watching a nearby clearing, ready to gently scare away any unseen hazards. Banette drifts along, stitching together lost objects it finds. A broken twig, a fallen leaf, a piece of bark. So the paths remain safe and tidy. The forest has many guardians tonight. Each one moves carefully, quietly, and kindly. The little ones feel safe. Piplup waddles along the safe path. Its heart beats slower now, less anxiety, more trust. The mist lifts slightly, revealing a faint outline of the forest edge, the safe meadow beyond. Miss Magius pauses in the shadows, watching. Dus noir drifts high above. Litwick hover a moment longer. All of them remain patient until the little Pokémon reaches the first soft grass of the clearing. Then, and only then, they fade back into the forest, satisfied. The night continues, gentle and protective, off grass beyond the trees. The fog thickens slightly in the deeper parts of the forest, curling around tree trunks and trailing across mossy stones. The night is quiet, but not empty. Every sound, the soft drip of dew, the flutter of wings, the gentle rustle of leaves carries a message. You are not alone. Somewhere in the mist, a small Shinx shivers, lost and unsure. Its fur bristles as the darkness stretches ahead, turning familiar paths into strange shadows. A protective shadow emerges. From above, a soft glow appears. A duskull floats silently between the trees, its single eye glowing faintly. It does not move quickly. It does not rush. It simply watches, ensuring Shinx does not stumble into hidden holes or tangle in vines. When a branch dips low, duskull floats down, guiding Shinx safely beneath it. When a sharp root crosses the path, it drifts closer, its presence a silent reassurance. Shinx pauses, Its small tail flicks nervously, then relaxes slightly. It does not fully understand the shadowy figure, but instinctively it knows this one means no harm. A gathering of guardians. Further along the path, more shadows stir. A Miss Magius glides silently between two tall oaks, robes swirling like smoke. Its glowing eyes glance down at the mist below, checking for hidden dangers. A Gengar crouches low on a branch, grinning faintly. But tonight the grin is soft, almost comforting. It nudges away loose stones that could trip a wandering Pokémon. Even a Banette drifts nearby, holding a broken stick it found, carefully placing it to mark a small step or to prevent a stumble. The forest feels alive, not frightening but tender, watched over by creatures usually thought to be scary. Guided through the mist, Shinx follows Duskull closely, stepping carefully over damp leaves and mossy rocks. A Litwick floats ahead, its soft flame illuminating the safest path through the shadows. Shinx's ears twitch as the mist swirls, but each time it glances toward the protective lights and shadowy form, gaining confidence with every cautious step. Behind, the guardians move silently, keeping pace, invisible yet present, their forms blending perfectly with the fog and trees. Another lost Pokémon. Ahead, a faint sound emerges, a soft cry. A Cyndaquil sits trembling near a hollowed tree, unsure which way to go. The night seems larger here, filled with unfamiliar shapes. Dusknoir appears first, massive and calm. Its glowing eye surveys the area, noticing the tiny fire Pokémon shivering. Miss Magius drifts closer, swirling softly. Gengar slides into the shadow near the tree, ensuring no danger comes from behind. Banette floats to the front, creating a gentle barrier between Cyndaquil and potential hazards. A slow, careful reunion. Duskull, knowing the safest approach, guides Shinx past Cyndaquil first, nudging it gently with its floating form. The two little Pokémon meet, tail and paw brushing slightly, a small spark of comfort exchanged. The guardians hold their positions patiently, letting the forest remain calm, softening shadows that might seem frightening, illuminating only what is necessary to ensure safety. The fog begins to lift slightly, and the night air feels less heavy. The tiny Shinx and Cyndaquil move forward together, led by the quiet, watchful figures of the forest guardians, the heart of the protective night. In the center of the forest, the shadows gather briefly, a silent council of watchers. Miss Magius swirls slowly. Dusknoir hovers without moving. Gengar crouches quietly. Banette floats softly near the roots of a massive oak, and Litwick flickers gently among the moss. All of them share a single purpose: to protect, to guide, to comfort. The forest breathes around them, acknowledging their presence. Even the mist seems lighter, curling in patterns that form gentle, protective barriers around the little lost Pokémon toward safety. Step by careful step, Shinx and Cyndaquil follow the faint light of Litwick and the shadows of their guardians. The forest, once imposing and vast, now feels like a home, a safe place where even the scary creatures carry warmth and care. Branches part gently. Mossy logs form soft steps. A faint path appears through the fog, as if the forest itself is leaning in to help. By the time the little Pokémon reach the edge of the clearing, the guardians fade slightly, blending into the trees. Their work tonight is almost done, but their vigilance remains quiet, patient, unbroken. The fog has thinned slightly, but the forest remains a maze of shapes, shadows, and soft sounds. Every rustle in the leaves, every crack of a twig carries a quiet question. Who is moving through the night? The answer is always the same tonight. those who watch and protect. A small shadow in need. Near a shallow stream, a tiny caterpie crawls cautiously along a moss-covered log. Its legs slip once and it trembles, unsure if it should continue. From above, a soft glow appears. A litwick hovers near the log, its little flame illuminating each step. It flickers softly as if saying, "It's okay. Keep going." The forest is no longer intimidating. The shadows here are gentle, patient, and protective. Eyes that watch kindly. High in the trees, a dust noir drifts silently. Its massive form looms, but there is no threat, only vigilance. It follows the paths where small Pokémon wander, its glowing eyes scanning for any danger. Nearby, a Miss Magus floats with a quiet hum. The sound blends with the rustling leaves, a lullaby in the fog. Even a Banette, usually thought of as eerie, drifts alongside a hollow root. It carefully picks up a fallen stick, placing it to prevent Caterpie from tripping. The forest itself seems aware, bending shadows and light to make the path safe. Another little lost one. From deeper in the fog, a faint squeak echoes. A Togepi peeks from behind a bush, eyes wide, unsure where to go. The Guardians respond immediately. Litwick drifts closer, its flame casting a safe circle around Togepi. Dust Noir positions itself silently behind, Miss Magius above, Banette to the side. Together, the four create a corridor of safety. No shadows here are threatening. All are watchful, protective, gentle. Togepi steps forward, following the small flame, his tiny hands brushing against the soft moss. The night no longer feels frightening. It feels full of guardians. The heartwarming march. Shinx and Cyndaquil from the previous part now join the little Togepi. The guardians move with them as one, a quiet procession. Dust Noir towering but calm, clearing hazards. Miss Magius, swirling softly, a whisper of reassurance in the air. Gengar, crouching silently, keeping distant eyes on anything that might startle. Banette, tidying the forest floor, marking steps, rearranging objects to ensure no one stumbles. Litwick, small flames bobbing, illuminating the safest path. Together they guide the lost and wandering Pokémon deeper into the forest, toward a familiar clearing, toward safety, toward calm. Gentle shadows in action. A Phantump trembles near a hollow tree, lost in the shadows. Banette floats close, its stitched hands holding a fallen leaf, placing it gently where the tiny Pokémon might slip. Miss Magus hums, the vibration in the air softening the night around Phantump, calming its little heart. Dust Noir hovers, its massive form a silent shield. Even the fog seems to lift slightly here, as if respecting the careful care of the Guardians. Reassurance through presence. By now, the little Pokémon, Shinx, Cyndaquil, Togepi, Caterpie, and Phantump move more confidently. They don't need words. They don't need instructions. Every shadow that passes, every soft hum, every glowing flame whispers, "You are safe. You are cared for. You are not alone." The night, which might have been frightening, is transformed. It is no longer darkness. It is warmth. It is protection. It is quiet love. The forest acknowledges their care. The trees sway gently, brushing against one another as if to applaud the Guardians. The mist curls in soft spirals, accommodating each careful step of the little ones. Even the wind hums low, carrying the messages of the protective shadows through the forest. The Guardians move seamlessly, invisible to most, ensuring that the night passes safely for every lost creature wandering its paths. A clearing emerges. Slowly the forest opens to a wide clearing bathed in the faintest silver light. Here the little Pokémon gather. Shinx pads softly to the edge. Cyndaquil curls near a soft patch of moss. Togepi claps its tiny hands and giggles softly. Caterpie crawls onto a safe log, finally still. Phantom huddles at the roots of a tall oak, its small form relaxed. The guardians linger in the shadows, still watchful, until every tiny heart is calm, every small worry eased. The night is their quiet kingdom, and it has passed its trial beautifully. The forest is quieter now. Mist curls lightly, shimmering in the faint moonlight. The air is cool and soft, carrying the scent of dew and moss. The little Pokémon that wandered the forest earlier, Shinx, Cyndaquil, Togepi, Caterpie, and Phantump, have settled in safe spots in the clearing, and the guardians remain. Silent watchers. High in the trees, Miss Magius drifts silently, robes floating like smoke. Its glowing eyes scan the forest, ensuring that no shadow threatens the little ones. On the forest floor, Dusknoir remains unmoving, its single eye steady, glowing faintly as it guards the path ahead. Gengar crouches on a branch, eyes soft, watching the clearing. No tricks tonight, only vigilance. Banette drifts along the edges, tidying sticks and leaves, making sure the forest floor is safe. Invisible, but helpful. Litwick floats gently around the little ones, flames soft and reassuring, illuminating the safe spots like tiny guardians of light, a gentle breeze of comfort. The night air carries soft, comforting whispers. A Phantump twitches its little arms, feeling the gentle presence of guardians nearby. Togepi yawns, curling up into a soft ball, its tiny hands clutching the grass. Shinx leans against a log, ears twitching faintly. Cyndaquil sighs softly, the warmth of the night calming its racing heart. Caterpie curls on a safe patch of moss, finally still. Even the wind seems to move more slowly, careful not to disturb the peace. Lessons of the shadows. The little Pokémon feel something they cannot explain. The scary ones are not scary tonight. The shadows are friends. The darkness holds kindness. Dusknoir's presence teaches patience. Miss Mage's hums soothe the mind. Banette's careful adjustments show care in every gesture. Gengar's watchfulness proves that vigilance can be gentle. Litwick's lights illuminate hope, small and bright. The forest becomes a classroom, a sanctuary, a place where fear transforms into understanding. The night slowly turns. The moon begins to dip lower, pale silver giving way to hints of gold along the horizon. The guardians sense the change. They do not rush, but they adjust their positions subtly. Dusknoir drifts higher, still alert but relaxed. Miss Marius hovers closer to the edge of the clearing, watching the horizon. Gengar yawns softly, stretching lazily in shadow. Banette floats a final sweep along the clearing, ensuring no small danger remains. Litwick dims its flame slightly, still steady, still warm. The forest seems to hold its breath, knowing that dawn is near, yet not ready to let the night's protection vanish. Moments of heartwarming reunion. Through the thinning mist, a faint sound drifts, a human voice. The little lost Pokémon perk up. Shinx hops forward cautiously. Cyndaquil waddles behind. Togepi giggles softly. Caterpie inches along the moss. Phantom floats gently. And then the humans and trainers appear, calling softly. Relief floods the forest. The guardians do not leave immediately. They ensure the little ones reach safety before disappearing into the shadows. Miss Magus, Dusknoir, Gengar, Banette, and Litwick linger in place, watching as the Pokémon are reunited with those who care for them. A promise of protection. The forest, the mist, and the shadows whisper one final lesson to all who wandered tonight. Even when you are alone, there are eyes watching. Even in the dark, there is care. Even in silence, there is comfort. The night's guardians will always return, patient and kind, ready to protect the small, the lost, and the uncertain. The little Pokémon rest briefly, hearts full, minds calm, as the first hints of sunlight touch the clearing. The first hints of sunlight appear on the horizon, spilling gold across the forest canopy. The mist lifts slowly, curling upward and fading into the morning sky. The shadows that once moved silently through the forest begin to dissolve into soft, gentle shapes. The night's guardians, Mismagius, Dusknoir, Gengar, Banette, and Litwick, remain for a moment, ensuring that every little Pokémon reaches safety before stepping back. Morning stirs the forest. Shinx stretches on a soft patch of moss, ears twitching at the warm sunlight filtering through the leaves. Cyndaquil yawns, rolling onto its side, basking in the gentle glow of dawn. Togepi claps tiny hands and giggles as a shaft of light touches its face. Caterpie crawls onto a log, curling into a soft ball, finally calm. Phantom hovers slowly, eyes wide with the wonder of the forest bathed in golden light. The forest itself seems to sigh with contentment, peaceful, safe, and tender. The guardians, farewell. High above, Mismagius drifts into a sunbeam swirling softly. Its robes catch the light, revealing delicate patterns in shadow and color. Dusknoir floats to the edge of a clearing, slowly fading into the trees. Its glowing eye dims slightly, satisfied that all the little Pokémon are safe. Gengar melts into a shadow on a nearby branch, stretching lazily, knowing its watch is temporarily over. Banette drifts to a hollow, carefully placing the last of the sticks and leaves it had gathered, then disappears into the shadows. Litwick dims its tiny flames, but lingers briefly, giving each Pokémon a warm, final glow before floating gently out of sight. The forest is still, peaceful, and full of calm. Lessons carried into the day. The little Pokémon wanders slowly through the clearing. Shinx pads to a soft rock, sniffing the air, aware now of the quiet guardians that watched over them. Cyndaquil glances at the forest edge, feeling safe and brave. Togepi giggles again, noticing the sunlight glimmer on the dew. Caterpie crawls toward a leaf patch, comforted by the soft warmth of the morning. Phantom drifts gently above the ground, remembering the protective night and the friends it had never expected to find in the shadows. They carry with them the lesson of the night, that sometimes what seems scary is simply care disguised in unfamiliar forms. The forest awakes slowly. Birds begin to chirp softly, insects hum gently, and a breeze whispers through the branches. Even the moss glows faintly under the early sunlight. The mist has vanished completely, leaving only traces of dew sparkling on leaves and stones. The shadows are no longer necessary, but their presence lingers in memory. Every little Pokémon knows the night will return, and when it does, the Guardians will return too. A heartwarming goodbye. Shinx, Cyndaquil, Togepi, Caterpie, and Phantom pause together at the edge of the clearing. They look back at the trees, sensing the invisible watchers, feeling gratitude for the night that kept them safe. Then, one by one, they move toward the warmth of their trainers and their homes. The forest whispers farewell. Rest easy, little ones. The night will watch again. The Guardians fade completely into shadow, returning to their unseen posts, invisible yet eternally present. A peaceful dawn. The sun rises fully now, bathing the forest in golden warmth. The little Pokémon breathe deeply, stretching, smiling, feeling brave and safe. The forest stands still and proud, a place where even the scariest-looking Pokémon can be kind, protective, and full of heart. And though the night is gone, its gentle lessons remain. Shadows can bring comfort. Darkness can carry care. Even the smallest creatures are never truly alone. The forest hums softly with life, and the world begins a new day. Peaceful, safe, and full of heartwarming magic. The forest is quiet tonight. Moonlight filters softly through the trees, dusting the leaves and mossy ground in silver light. Every shadow is long but gentle, stretching slowly and curling into soft shapes. A small glow flickers in the distance, a lonely light, wavering but warm. A small Pokémon. Alone, near the edge of a clearing, a Shinx sits curled on a soft patch of moss. Its tail flicks nervously, its ears droop slightly. It had wandered away from its trainer earlier in the day, curious and brave, only to find itself unsure where to go. The forest feels enormous tonight. Each tree seems taller, each shadow deeper. Shinx sighs softly, its little body trembling, not from fear, but from longing for companionship. A warm presence appears. From behind a cluster of ferns, a faint rustle emerges. A Togepi, also alone, emerges slowly, clutching its small shell and blinking cautiously. It doesn't speak. It doesn't approach too quickly. It simply sits nearby, a quiet presence, offering companionship without words. Shinx notices the little Pokémon and perks up slightly. The tail flicks a little faster, but this time with curiosity, not worry. The first gentle connection. Shinx steps closer, then stops, unsure. Togepi shifts slightly, forming a small circle of space between them. It is enough, just enough to say, "You are not alone." The forest seems to recognize the moment. The leaves stop rustling. Even the mist holds still, as if allowing these two little Pokémon to find comfort in each other's presence. Shinx curls slightly closer, and Togepi scoots a tiny bit nearer. The first bond is made. A safe spot to rest. Nearby, a hollow log lies softly covered in moss. Shinx nudges it, sniffing the soft interior. Togepi watches. They climb inside together, tails and little hands brushing against each other. The log is warm and protected. The forest around them is calm. The moonlight filters gently through the trees, touching their soft fur and shell. For the first time tonight, neither feels lonely. The forest acknowledges companionship. Above, a noctowl glides silently between the trees. Its wide eyes sweep the clearing, noticing the little pair. It does not disturb them. It only watches, approving silently of the warmth that has begun to grow here. An invisible guardian of calm. The night continues. The forest sighs softly. And the small Shinx and Togepi drift toward sleep, nestled together, feeling safe for the first time in hours. The forest remains quiet, mist curling between the tree trunks like soft silver ribbons. Moonlight glows gently over the mossy ground, illuminating small shapes that move slowly, carefully, and without fear. Another lonely Pokémon. Near a shallow stream, a small Cubone sits on a smooth rock, holding its bone club loosely. Its eyes look tired and it sighs softly. The path it had wandered along seems endless and unfamiliar. It wishes quietly for someone to be near. The forest seems to listen. A gentle approach. From the shadows, a small phantom floats quietly. Its wooden body sways slightly, drifting closer to Cubone. It does not speak. It does not rush. It simply hovers, a soft presence that radiates calm and reassurance. Cubone notices the movement and tilts its head, unsure at at first. But the gentle glow of the moon reflects in Phantom's eyes, telling Cubone without words, you are not alone. Connections form slowly. Meanwhile, in the clearing where Shinx and Togepi have rested, a faint rustle comes from the bushes. A small Cyndaquil emerges, looking hesitant and wary. Its back flames flicker gently, matching the soft moonlight. Shinx perks up and nudges Togepi slightly. Togepi giggles softly. The little group senses a newcomer. The connection is unspoken, but immediately understood. Companionship is possible, even in the quiet night. Shinx steps forward cautiously, tail flicking in curiosity. Cyndaquil relaxes slightly, feeling the warmth from the new friends. Safe spaces multiply. Cubone and Phantom move together to a fallen tree covered in moss. Shinx, Togepi, and Cyndaquil cluster near a soft patch of grass. The forest seems to guide them gently, leaving soft clearings and safe nooks where they can rest. Even the wind seems careful, moving slowly through the leaves, carrying the quiet sounds of companionship. The forest remembers kindness. Above, a noctowl glides silently, wings barely making a sound. It watches the little Pokémon in their nooks, approving quietly. Its eyes reflect the moonlight, warm and attentive. The night is no longer about being lost. It is about finding safety, warmth, and gentle company, settling for the night. One by one, the Pokémon curl up in their soft resting spots. Cubone leans slightly against Phantom. Shinx and Togepi nuzzle close. Cyndaquil flickers its flame softly, relaxed. The forest exhales. The mist curls gently and the little companions drift toward sleep. Even the faintest shadows seem kinder tonight, wrapping the group in quiet reassurance. The night continues calm, warm, and heartwarming. The forest breathes slowly tonight. Mist curls between the trees like silver ribbons, and the moonlight paints the mossy ground in gentle light. Every rustle, every soft crack of a twig carries the unspoken message. You are not alone. A new little wanderer. Near the edge of the clearing, a small Eevee wanders, sniffing cautiously at the ground. It had strayed too far from its trainer and now feels unsure. Its ears twitch nervously, and its tail flicks slowly, a mix of curiosity and worry. But the forest has already begun to weave comfort. A shadow mow. From the trees above, a Miss Magius glides silently, robes floating like smoke. Its glowing eyes follow Eevee's tentative steps. Nearby, a Gengar crouches on a low branch, grin soft and calm. It nudges away loose branches that could trip Eevee, guiding it without making a sound. A Banette floats near a hollowed tree, picking up small sticks and leaves, placing them gently so Eevee's path is safe. Even the mist seems to part subtly, allowing Eevee to move forward without fear. Joining the circle, Eevee wanders closer to the other Pokémon. Shinx curls near Togepi, soft fur brushing tiny hands. Cyndaquil flickers a gentle warmth. Cubone leans against Phantom, both quiet and calm. Eevee hesitates for a moment, then steps forward, and the little group instinctively makes room. Togepi giggles softly, Shinx's tail flicking in welcome, Cyndaquil's flame glowing gently. Even the forest seems to sigh in approval. The comfort of togetherness. The Pokémon settle into a safe cluster. Cubone and Phantom snuggle together near the mossy log. Shinx nuzzles Togepi. Cyndaquil curls beside them, flames low and calm. Eevee nestles at the edge, feeling warmth from its new friends. Above, the guardians of the night. The Noctowl, Miss Magius, Gengar, and Banette move quietly, keeping watch. The forest is alive with a gentle protection. Every shadow, every flicker of movement is a promise. You are safe here. Whispers of the night. A soft hum drifts through the trees, barely audible. Miss Magius glides among the branches, its whispers blending with the wind. The Pokémon listen without needing to understand the words. The sound is calm, reassuring. It is the language of companionship spoken without voice. You are seen. You are protected. You are part of this little circle now. Tiny hearts at rest. Step by careful step, the little companions curl closer together. Shinx's tail flicks gently. Togepi's hands rest softly on the grass. Cyndaquil's flames pulse slowly. Cubone and Phantom breathe evenly. Eevee sighs, tail curling, and closes its eyes. The forest hums in quiet approval. The night holds them softly. Even the shadows, which could have been frightening, instead wrap the group in warmth. The little Pokémon drift towards sleep, safe, comforted, and no longer alone. The forest holds a deep, calm stillness. Mist drifts slowly between tree trunks, curling around roots and mossy rocks. Moonlight filters softly, touching every leaf, every patch of grass, and every small Pokémon nestled in the clearing. Tonight, the lost Pokémon are no longer alone. The forest itself seems to breathe with them, carrying warmth, safety, and companionship. A new visitor appears. From the shadows near the stream, a Phanpy emerges. Its tiny legs wobble as it steps carefully, unsure of the terrain. It pauses, looking around at the already assembled little group. Shinx curled with Togepi, Cyndaquil flickering warmly nearby, Cubone leaning against Phantoma, Eevee nestling at the edge. Phanpy tilts its head nervously. Before it can move further, a faint rustling comes from above. Gentle shadows watch over. From the trees, a Duskull drifts silently. Its single eye glows faintly in the moonlight, scanning for potential hazards. It does not frighten the little Phanpy. It does not chase. It only ensures the path is safe, floating slowly to guide it toward the group. A Litwick hovers alongside, flame soft and steady, lighting the way through mossy stones and gentle roots. The forest hums quietly, acknowledging the presence of these careful, protective shadows. Finding the circle of safety, Phanpy moves forward slowly, guided by these subtle lights and shadows. It reaches the circle of little Pokémon and pauses, unsure of how to join. Togepi giggles softly, nudging Shinx to make space. Shinx flicks its tail and leans slightly, inviting Phanpy closer. Cyndaquil's flames flicker gently as if to say, "You are welcome here." Cubone and Phantom watch quietly, their presence calm and reassuring. Eevee steps a tiny bit closer, tail curling warmly towards the newcomer, the heart of companionship. The little group settles into a cozy cluster. Phanpy leans against Shinx, sniffing softly. Eevee nuzzles Togepi's side. Cubone and Phantom curl near the log. Cyndaquil rests its flames low, warm but safe. The protective shadows hover nearby. Duskull floats silently behind, a shield of reassurance. Miss Magius drifts in the branches above, swirling robes like smoke, whispering gentle hums. Gengar crouches softly on a low branch, its grin calm and friendly. Banette floats to the side, tidying stray sticks and leaves to keep the area safe. Litwick hovers near the new addition, a tiny guiding flame. The forest itself seems to approve. Leaves sway gently. Mist curls softly. Even the ground beneath the little Pokémon feels welcoming and warm. Whispers of comfort. A gentle hum drifts through the trees, barely audible. It is the language of companionship, soft, reassuring, without words. The little Pokémon Listen. They do not need to understand the meaning. They feel it in their hearts. You are safe. You are cared for. You are not alone. Every shadow, every gentle movement of light carries the same message. The circle grows stronger. The Pokémon curl closer together, forming a warm, protective circle. Shinx leans slightly against Togepi. Eevee curls near Cyndaquil. Phanpy settles between Shinx and Eevee. Cubone and Phantump maintain their quiet support. The Guardians remain vigilant but relaxed, allowing the Pokémon to feel comforted and safe without interference. The mist rises gently, wrapping the group in softness. Moonlight touches their fur, shells, and flames, adding a quiet magic to the moment. A night of peace. Every small Pokémon breathes evenly now. Their hearts are calm. Their minds are at ease. The forest hums a soft lullaby. The shadows, usually seen as scary, instead radiate warmth. The little circle of companions drifts toward sleep, enveloped in protection, friendship, and comfort. And the forest, watching silently, knows the night has fulfilled its purpose: to guide the lost, comfort the lonely, and nurture the beginnings of lasting bonds. The forest remains still, but the first hints of change stir in the air. Mist curls lightly, moonlight touches the mossy ground in delicate patterns, and the shadows of the night seem calmer, softer, and more protective than ever. The little Pokémon, Shinx, Togepi, Cyndaquil, Cubone, Phantump, Eevee, and Phanpy, are nestled together in their safe clearing, their hearts calm, their minds slowly drifting toward sleep. The Guardians remain vigilant. High above, Miss Magius glides silently between the branches. Its robes swirl softly in the night air, and its glowing eyes watch over the little group. Duskull floats slowly on the forest floor, a faint glow surrounding it, as it ensures the path remains safe and clear. Gengar crouches on a low branch, grin relaxed, keeping a watchful but gentle eye. Banette drifts along, tidying stray sticks and leaves, creating a safe space for everyone below. Litwick hovers softly, its flame flickering gently, illuminating the cozy cluster of companions. The forest itself seems to breathe with them, every shadow a protector, every leaf a gentle guardian. Whispers of comfort. The night hums softly, a lullaby carried by the wind, the trees, and the gentle creatures of the forest. Each Pokémon feels the warmth of this protection. Shinx leans against Togepi, tail flicking softly. Togepi giggles quietly, comforted by the closeness. Cyndaquil's flames pulse slowly, steady and calm. Cubone rests quietly against Phantump. Eevee curls near Cyndaquil. Phanpy nestles between Shinx and Eevee. Even without words, each Pokémon understands. They are safe, they are cared for, and they are not alone. A gentle breeze and subtle change. The wind stirs softly through the branches, carrying the scent of dew and moss. The mist begins to lift, curling higher into the trees, revealing glimpses of the forest beyond the clearing. The Guardians sense the change. They adjust, subtly preparing for the approaching dawn, but they do not leave. Not yet. Their vigilance continues until the little ones are fully comfortable. Miss Magius hovers closer, swirling lightly, while Duskull drifts to a nearby tree root, forming a silent wall of protection. Gengar stretches and yawns, content that the Pokémon are at peace. Banette drifts one final time along the clearing, ensuring every log, stick, and stone is in place. Litwick dims its flame just slightly, leaving a warm glow around the sleeping companions. The strength of companionship. The little Pokémon stir slightly, shifting closer together in their sleep. They dream of warmth, of safety, and of friends, both those beside them and those watching from the shadows. Even the shyest or newest additions, like Fampy, feel the calm of friendship. The circle of companionship has grown strong, each heart comforted by the others, each little presence a source of courage and warmth. The forest hums approval, the night embracing this small community in gentle, protective silence. A quiet promise. The guardians whisper their silent promise. We will watch. We will protect. We will be here when you need us. Every shadow, every flickering flame, every gentle movement through the trees carries this message. The little Pokémon sleep more peacefully than ever, their tiny bodies curled, tails and hands brushing together, flames low and warm. The forest holds them gently, cradling the night's last hours until dawn arrives. The first hints of sunlight appear on the horizon, spilling golden light through the trees. Mist lifts slowly, curling upward and fading into the warmth of the morning sky. The forest, once shrouded in night, begins to glimmer in soft hues of gold and silver. The little ones stir. Shinx stretches its legs, tail flicking lazily, eyes blinking at the new light. Togepi claps its tiny hand softly, giggling as the sun touches its shell. Cyndaquil yawns, its flames flickering gently, now calm and warm. Carbone and Phantom stir together, heads brushing slightly as they rise from the mossy log. Eevee nudges Cyndaquil softly, while Fampy stretches and snuffles at the edge of the clearing. The little Pokémon feel safe, cared for, and full of quiet joy. The guardians, gentle farewell. The protective Pokémon who watched over the night begin to fade into the morning light. Mismagius drifts high into a sunbeam, swirling softly before disappearing into the treetops. Duskull floats to the edge of the clearing, dimming its glow, satisfied that everyone is safe. Gengar melts into the shadows of a low branch, stretching lazily, still watchful but relaxed. Banette drifts to a hollow, gently arranging the last of the sticks and leaves before vanishing. Litwick dims its flame, giving one last warm glow to the little circle of Pokémon before floating quietly out of sight. Even the trees and mist seem to sigh in approval, holding the memory of the night's care. The circle of companionship. The little Pokémon gather slowly, forming a circle in the clearing. Shinx curls beside Togepi. Eevee nuzzles Cyndaquil. Fampy snuggles between Shinx and Eevee. Carbone leans against Phantom. No words are needed. Every small movement, every touch, speaks volumes. We are together. We are safe. We belong. The forest hums softly in return, a gentle acknowledgement of the bonds formed overnight. The forest awakens. Birdsong begins to drift through the trees, a delicate chorus of morning sounds. The wind stirs lightly, carrying the fragrance of dew, moss, and new beginnings. Sunlight spills fully into the clearing, illuminating each Pokémon's fur, shell, and flame. The mist has lifted entirely, leaving only soft glimmers where dew clings to leaves. The shadows of night have vanished, but their warmth and protection linger in the hearts of the little Pokémon, a lasting lesson. The Pokémon take a moment to look at one another. They do not need words to understand. Even when lost, companionship can be found. Even in uncertainty, warmth and care exist. Even in the quietest, loneliest moments, one is never truly alone. These lessons will stay with them as the day begins. A peaceful beginning. One by one, the little Pokémon move toward the edge of the clearing. Shinx bounds lightly, Togepi claps happily, Cyndaquil flickers warmly, Eevee prances, Phanpy waddles slowly, and Cubone and Phantump follow calmly. The forest watches silently, its magic lingering in the leaves, the soil, and the gentle rustle of the morning breeze. And though the night has ended, the comfort it brought remains, woven into the bonds of friendship, the warmth of companionship, and the gentle memory of care. The forest smiles softly, the guardians invisible, but present in spirit, and the little Pokémon step into the day, hearts full, minds calm, and never alone again. The forest is bathed in moonlight. Shadows stretch long between the trees, curling over mossy rocks and soft ferns. A gentle mist drifts across the ground, swirling like slow-moving water, hiding shapes and sounds, but not in a way that is frightening. Tonight the forest is alive with whispers, soft echoes that carry through the trees. A small Pokémon, yes. A tiny Mimikyu sits under a tree, its ragged cloth fluttering slightly in the breeze. It had wandered far from its familiar paths, and the shadows seemed deeper than usual. Its little heart beats faster, not with fear, but with curiosity and anticipation. The forest seems to respond, whispering softly in a language only the night and the gentle spirits can understand. Glowing eyes in the dark. From the darkness, a pair of soft, glowing eyes appears. They flicker gently, moving slowly along the edge of the clearing. Mimikyu tilts its head, unsure at first, but the eyes do not move closer in a threatening way. Instead, the glow brightens softly, illuminating the path. A low hum drifts through the air, the forest's whisper, the night's lullaby. The first gentle haunting. A faint rustle from above reveals Phantump peeking from a hollow tree. Its wooden body sways softly, eyes glowing faintly into the moonlight. It does not approach to frighten. It floats closer slowly, hovering near Mimikyu. It hums a low, soothing sound, a melody that seems to settle the little Pokémon's heart. The night feels less lonely, less scary. It is a companion, a guardian in a misunderstood form. Dreamlike moments. Mimikyu watches as the forest seems to shift around it. Mist curls in shapes that almost look like playful silhouettes. A faint wind carries whispered voices, not harsh, not demanding, but gentle, almost dreamlike. They seem to say, "You are safe. You are seen. You are not alone tonight." Mimikyu's eyes widen, the fluttering of its cloth slowing as a sense of calm begins to wash over it. A safe nook in the forest. Nearby, a hollow log covered in moss offers a soft place to rest. Phantump drifts beside it, glowing faintly, forming a protective presence. Mimikyu steps inside, curling gently, feeling warmth and reassurance. The forest hums softly, the whispers continuing, gentle and melodic. Even the shadows, long, curling, flickering in the moonlight, feel like soft arms wrapping around the little Pokémon. A night of comforting hauntings. Above, a noctowl glides silently, wings barely rustling. Its wide eyes reflect the moonlight, observing the gentle interaction below. It does not interrupt. It does not frighten. It watches, approving silently, ensuring that the little Pokémon feels safe in the presence of these misunderstood spirits. The night carries on, soft, mysterious, heartwarming, and protective. Mimikyu curls, finally calm, drifting towards sleep under the watchful eyes of gentle hauntings. The forest deepens as the night progresses. Mist swirls in slow, graceful patterns, curling around tree trunks and mossy stones, Every rustle, every faint whisper carries a gentle question. Who moves in the shadows? And every shadow holds a kind answer. A lonely wanderer. Near a moss-covered stream, a small shuppet drifts hesitantly. Its ghostly body floats softly above the ground. Eyes wide, it glances nervously at the shadows stretching across the water. The forest seems vast and unfamiliar. Even the soft rustle of leaves feels strange in the quiet night. But tonight, the whispers of the forest speak of companionship. Eyes that are not threatening. From the branches above, two faint glows appear. Small, soft, watching. A phantom and a tiny mimikyu peek from the shadows, their eyes warm and welcoming. Shuppet pauses, unsure at first. The glowing eyes do not flicker angrily, do not approach in menace. Instead, they move in slow arcs, lighting the way along the forest floor, illuminating safe spots and hidden hollows. The forest hums a gentle melody, almost dreamlike, carrying the reassurance, you are safe, you are not alone. A dreamlike meeting. Shuppet drifts closer to the friendly glow, curiosity slowly replacing unease. Mimikyu flutters slightly, tail swaying, inviting the small ghost Pokémon to join the soft circle forming in the clearing. Phantom hovers beside a hollow log, its faint glow brushing along the moss, marking a gentle resting place. The little spirits seem almost like whispers themselves, moving without sound, guiding without force. Shuppet's eyes soften. It floats closer, sensing warmth and protection where there was once uncertainty. The circle grows. Nearby, the first little Pokémon of the night, Mimikyu from the earlier story, stirs gently in its mossy nook. It stretches slightly and notices the new arrivals. Its cloth flutters softly in recognition. The forest seems to respond. Mist curls more slowly, swaying like gentle curtains. Moonlight touches the clearing softly, highlighting every safe nook, every little cluster of protective glow. Slowly the group forms a circle. Mimikyu curls at the center, comforted. Shuppet drifts close, hovering in gentle warmth. Phantom floats along the edge, faintly glowing. Each movement is soft, unhurried, and reassuring. Whispers of comfort. A soft rustle drifts from the treetops. A noctowl glides silently above, eyes wide, wings stretching carefully through the night air. It does not disturb. It does not frighten. Its presence adds a rhythm to the whispers of the forest, a subtle melody of protection and calm. The glowing eyes, the gentle movements, and the soft hums all blend together in a lullaby. You are safe here. You are cared for. You are seen. Dreamlike guidance. The little Pokémon begin to explore the clearing cautiously, guided by the soft glow and protective presence of their companions. Mimikyu nudges Shuppet gently. Phantom sways to create a subtle barrier against stray leaves and twigs. Every step feels safe. Every shadow feels like an embrace rather than a threat. Even the mist seems to bend around them, forming soft, protective arcs like gentle curtains, shielding them from the vast forest. Settling into safety. After a few moments, the Pokémon find their places. Shuppet drifts near Mimikyu. Phantom floats quietly by the hollow log. The smaller spirits curl slightly, creating warmth through their gentle presence. The forest exhales softly. Mist curls, shadows move subtly, and the night seems to hum a soft lullaby. The little Pokémon close their eyes, drift gently, and feel the reassurance of friendly spirits watching over them. Even the most misunderstood creatures, the ghostly, the eerie, the shadowed, reveal their kindness, their warmth, their guardianship. The night of gentle hauntings. Above, the trees sway gently in the breeze. The mist curls slowly, and the moonlight glints off tiny droplets of dew. The protective spirits drift silently, their glowing eyes fading only slightly, a quiet promise. We are here. We watch. We care. Shuppet, Mimikyu, and Phantump curl into the clearing, hearts calm, minds drifting into a comforting, dreamlike sleep. The whispers continue softly, the gentle hauntings turning the forest night into a realm of warmth, safety, and companionship. The forest hums quietly, a soft melody carried on the mist and rustling leaves. Shadows stretch and curl like slow-moving smoke, and the glowing eyes of unseen creatures blink softly from the darkness, welcoming rather than frightening. The night deepens, but the little Pokémon are no longer alone. A new gentle spirit. From a hollow near the base of a towering oak, a soft glow emerges. A small Duskull floats silently, its single eye flickering like a candle in the dark. It moves slowly toward the clearing where Mimikyu, Shuppet, and Phantump rest. Its presence is calm, its glow is soft. It does not approach to scare, it moves to guide, protect, and reassure. The forest seems to bend subtly around its light, forming a narrow path for the little Pokémon to move safely if they wish. The circle grows. Shuppet drifts slightly closer to the soft light of Duskull. Mimikyu flutters its cloth gently, leaning toward the newcomer in curiosity and trust. Phantump sways, floating in place, allowing a small gap for the new friend to join without disturbance. The forest whispers again, a melodic hum carried through the trees. You are safe here. You are cared for. You belong. Dreamlike guidance. The clearing seems to shift gently as the night progresses. Mist curls into soft spirals, highlighting safe paths around fallen logs, roots, and rocks. A Litwick floats quietly near the group, its tiny flame illuminating the moss and guiding each movement. The little Pokémon explore gently, tails twitching, eyes widening with wonder. Each step feels secure, each shadow now a gentle guardian rather than a threat. Even the soft rustle of leaves and distant whispers of the forest sound like a lullaby meant just for them. Friendly eyes in the dark. From the trees, two glowing eyes blink softly. A small Phantump and a timid Shuppet watch silently from above. They do not move closer to frighten. They hover, glow, and hum quietly, reassuring the Pokémon below. The little Pokémon pause, noticing the glow, but instead of fear, they feel calm. They understand instinctively. These eyes are friendly, protective, and part of the gentle night, resting among shadows. After wandering briefly, the Pokémon curl into a cluster. Mimikyu and Shuppet settle close together. Phantump floats gently nearby. Duskull hovers in place, its single eye warm and calm. Litwick flickers softly, creating a circle of gentle light. The shadows now feel like a soft embrace. The forest, alive with whispers and glowing eyes, carries them into a peaceful, dreamlike state. The night's lullaby. Above, Noctowl glides silently between branches, wings moving almost imperceptibly. Its eyes reflect the moonlight, observing the small gathering below. The forest hums a lullaby. You are seen. You are safe. You are loved. The Pokémon sigh softly, drifting closer together, hearts calm and minds ready for sleep. Even the eerie shapes in the mist now feel protective, softening into kind, caring companions. Gentle hauntings of comfort. The night continues in its dreamlike rhythm. The glowing eyes blink softly. The shadows sway slowly. The whispers hum gently. The little Pokémon close their eyes completely, drifting into dreams where even the most misunderstood spirits watch over them with warmth. The forest is alive with gentle hauntings, soft, protective, and heartwarming. The night is no longer dark or frightening. It is calm, magical, and full of friendship. The night deepens, yet the forest feels warmer somehow. Mist drifts lazily between trees, curling like delicate smoke. Shadows stretch long, but instead of frightening, they seem to cradle the little Pokémon in gentle shapes, like soft arms wrapping around them. The glowing eyes from earlier blink slowly, welcoming, patient, and protective. A new arrival. From the edge of the clearing, a small Litwick hovers quietly, flame bobbing softly in the moonlight. Its presence is calm, the tiny light illuminating patches of moss and guiding the Pokémon through the forest floor safely. Mimikyu notices it first, tilting its head in curiosity. Shuppet floats closer, drawn by the gentle warmth. Even the timid Phantom drifts forward slightly, encouraged by the soft glow. The circle of companions expands naturally, quietly, without rush. Shut designated guide. From higher in the trees, Duskull drifts silently, single eye glowing faintly. It moves slowly, positioning itself near small branches and roots that could pose a hazard. The little Pokémon. Notice the subtle movement, but there is no fear, only trust. The shadows themselves seem alive with care. Every flicker, every swirl of mist carries the unspoken promise. You are safe. You are not alone. Dreamlike companionship. The Pokémon begin to settle into a comfortable cluster. Mimikyu curls slightly near Shuppet. Phantom floats quietly beside them. Litwick hovers close, illuminating safe patches of moss. Duskull drifts softly along the edge, forming a protective arc. The forest seems to respond. Leaves sway gently, and the mist curls protectively, and the moonlight bathes them in a soft, reassuring glow. Even the most shadowed corners of the clearing feel inviting. The whispering lullaby. A soft hum drifts through the air. The forest, the guardians, and the spirits all join together in a quiet lullaby. Each note is a whisper. You are seen. You are cared for. You are not alone. The little Pokémon listen without words, their tiny hearts comforted by the presence of these gentle, misunderstood spirits. Eyes that watch with kindness. From the darkness, two small glowing eyes blink slowly. Another pair of friendly spirits appears. A Phantom and a timid Shuppet peek from behind the trees. They move carefully, ensuring the forest floor is clear. Their glow is soft, non-threatening, and completely comforting. The little Pokémon pause, then smile softly, sensing friendship in the most unexpected forms. A night of shared dreams. As the night continues, the Pokémon drift into light sleep, the whispers and glowing eyes keeping watch over them. The forest hums softly, echoing the protective lullabies of unseen guardians. Even the most eerie elements, the shadows, the flickering lights, and the ghostly forms, become symbols of warmth, care, and companionship. Mimikyu, Shuppet, Phantom, Litwick, and Duskull rest together, surrounded by gentle, understanding eyes. The night is no longer a place of fear. It is a realm of heartwarming hauntings and shared dreams. The forest grows quieter as the night reaches its deepest hours. Mist curls softly over the mossy ground, moving like slow, protective waves. Shadows stretch across the clearing, but now they feel like gentle arms wrapping around the little Pokémon instead of looming threats. The glowing eyes of the forest spirits blink slowly, steady and reassuring. A watchful presence. High in the branches, Miss Magius drifts silently, robes floating like smoke. Its glowing eyes sweep the clearing, watching over. Mimikyu curling near Shuppet, Phantump floating softly beside them. Litwick hovering with its tiny flame illuminating the mossy floor, Duskull moving slowly along the forest edge. The Guardians do not intrude. They are subtle, invisible guides ensuring safety without alarm. Dreamy guidance. The little Pokémon stir gently, sensing the warmth of the forest spirits. A faint rustle from a nearby tree draws their attention. A small Gengar crouches in the shadows, tail flicking softly. Its grin is calm, friendly, almost like a wink. The Pokémon realize instinctively every shadow, every flicker of light, every glowing eye is here to protect, not to frighten. Even the eerie mist feels soft, almost like a blanket around the clearing. The circle strengthens. The Pokémon settle into a comfortable, protective cluster. Mimikyu leans slightly toward Shuppet. Phantump drifts gently in the center. Litwick hovers close, creating a soft halo of light. Duskull forms a protective arc along the edge. Gengar watches silently from a shadowed branch. The forest itself seems to approve, swaying leaves and curling mist gently around the group. Whispers of comfort. The night hums softly, a lullaby carried on the wind, the trees and the protective spirits. Each whisper is a promise. You are safe. You are cared for. You are never alone. The Pokémon close their eyes, drifting closer together. Bodies warm, hearts calm. Even the faintest shadows and ghostly forms are now symbols of reassurance and gentle protection. The last hours before dawn. Slowly the night begins to shift. The moonlight softens. Mist rises slightly, curling upward like a gentle curtain. The glowing eyes of the spirits blink slowly, aware that morning approaches, but they linger just enough to ensure the little Pokémon are fully safe and calm. Mimikyu stretches slightly in sleep. Shuppet drifts softly, drifting into deeper rest. Phantump sways gently. Litwick flickers quietly, and Duskull hovers in place. The Guardians, like quiet lullabies, prepare the Pokémon for the transition from night to day. A night of heartwarming hauntings. Above, Noctowl glides silently between branches, wings barely rustling. The forest hums, shadows sway, and the glowing eyes of the spirits keep watch. The little Pokémon dream peacefully, carried by whispers, soft lights, and gentle hauntings. Even the eeriest creatures, those who might seem scary, reveal themselves as guardians, kind and patient. The night holds them gently, preparing them for the calm of dawn. The first hints of sunlight spill over the horizon, painting the forest in soft gold and silver hues. Mist curls upward, fading into the warmth of morning, revealing the clearing where the little Pokémon slept. The shadows of night, long and curling, begin to soften. The glowing eyes of the protective spirits blink once, twice, then dim slightly, satisfied that the Pokémon are safe. Stirring at sunrise, Shinx and Togepi, who had wandered earlier in the night, stretched their tiny limbs. Mimikyu stirs, cloth fluttering softly as it rises. Shuppet floats gently, eyes blinking at the warm light. Phantump drifts slowly, swaying in place, still glowing faintly, comforted by the gentle morning. Litwick flickers softly, its tiny flame steady and warm. Duskull hovers at the edge, single eye soft, ready to fade back into shadow once it is sure the little ones are fully awake. The Guardians, gentle farewell. The spirits who guided and protected the night begin their quiet departure. Miss Magius drifts into a sunbeam, robes curling in the morning light before disappearing into the treetops. Dusko glides slowly along the forest edge, its glow fading as the sunlight strengthens. Gengar melts into the shadows of a low branch, tail flicking once in farewell. Banette floats to a hollow, arranging the last sticks and leaves, then vanishes quietly. Litwick dims its flame completely, leaving a final halo of warmth around the clearing. The forest seems to exhale a soft sigh of contentment, carrying the memory of the night's care. A circle of comfort. The little Pokémon gather near the center of the clearing. Mimikyu curls gently beside Shuppet. Phantump drifts in the middle, still glowing faintly. Litwick hovers near, the last trace of its light shimmering. Shinx and Togepi move closer, tails and hands brushing softly. Eevee and Phanpy from nearby hollows approach quietly, joining the comforting circle. No words are needed. Their hearts feel the warmth and reassurance of companionship. Even the forest itself seems to hum softly in response, leaves swaying and moss glowing faintly in the sunlight. Lessons from the night. The little Pokémon pause and look at one another, understanding instinctively. Even in darkness, companionship can be found. Even among shadows, kindness can exist. Even the most eerie creatures can be guardians, not threats. These lessons linger, embedded in their hearts as the night fades into day, a peaceful morning. Birdsong drifts through the trees, light rustles echo softly, and the gentle morning wind carries the scent of dew and new beginnings. The mist has disappeared entirely, leaving patches of sun-dappled moss and small flowers glistening with dew. The shadows have softened completely, but the comfort they brought, the protection, the companionship, the gentle lessons, remains. The little Pokémon step into the clearing, stretching, yawning, and smiling softly. Shinx bounds lightly. Togepi claps quietly. Mimikyu flutters its cloth in a relaxed sway. Shuppet floats gently. Phantump drifts in place. Litwick flickers once for warmth, and Dusko fades completely into the background. A lasting warmth. Before leaving the clearing to explore the new day, each Pokémon pauses, glancing at the trees, the shadows, and the lingering mist. Even though the spirits have departed, their gentle protection and guidance are remembered. The night's whispers, dreamlike glow, and gentle hauntings have left a lasting mark, a warmth that will remain with them even in full daylight. The forest smiles quietly, holding its memories, while the little Pokémon carry the comfort, care, and companionship into the day ahead. The forest is quiet now. The night is deep, but the first hints of light begin to brush the horizon in soft, muted gold. Mist drifts lazily across mossy stones and curling roots, carrying the scent of dew and earth. Even the shadows seem to stretch slowly, reluctant to fade, as if savoring their final moments before dawn. A restless little Pokémon. Near a hollowed tree, a small Shinx blinks sleepily. Its tail flicks slowly, ears twitching at the faint rustle of leaves. It had wandered the forest earlier, guided by curiosity and the gentle whispers of the night. Now, as the first hints of morning glow appear, it feels a mix of comfort and calm. The shadows that once seemed endless are softening, revealing a world that feels safe and welcoming. Companionship in the darkness. Nearby, a Togepi nestles into a patch of soft moss. Its tiny hands rest gently on the ground, eyes half closed. Shinx pads closer, tail brushing softly, forming a small, comforting circle. Even in the lingering darkness, the presence of a friend brings warmth and reassurance. The forest hums softly, acknowledging the small circle of companionship. echoes of gentle guardians. High above, a noctowl glides silently through the treetops, wings almost soundless. Its wide eyes sweep over the forest floor, ensuring that every small Pokémon is safe. Shadows of protective spirits, those that watched over the night, linger faintly in the mist, soft and non-threatening. Even the darkened corners of the forest feel tender now, filled with a sense of care rather than fear. The night's last whisper. A faint rustle drifts across the clearing. The leaves sway gently, the mist curls, and the moonlight fades softly into the first hints of gold. Shinx flicks its tail again. Togepi lets out a quiet, contented sigh, and the forest itself seems to hold its breath in anticipation of morning. The message is clear. The night is past. You're safe. The world is calm. A safe nook for rest. A moss-covered hollow log nearby offers a perfect resting spot. Shinx and Togepi curl inside together, finding comfort in each other's presence. The forest, still cloaked partially in shadow, seems to embrace them, offering warmth, protection, and reassurance. Even the soft whispers of the night feel like a gentle lullaby guiding them towards sleep. The first rays of sunlight spill gently across the forest floor, brushing moss, ferns, and soft patches of grass in warm gold. Mist curls upward slowly, glimmering like tiny threads of silk in the early light. Shadows shrink and soften, and the forest begins to hum quietly with life waking from its night slumber. A gentle awakening. Shinx stirs, stretching its legs and flicking its tail lazily. Togepi lets out a tiny yawn, hands resting softly on the moss, eyes blinking at the new light. Nearby, a small Eevee pads softly over the dewy ground, drawn by the warmth and familiar scents of the forest. The little Pokémon glance at each other and smile without words. The presence of friends brings comfort and reassurance. Even the soft rustling of leaves in the wind feels like a lullaby, wrapping them in calm. Soft guardians in the morning. High above, a noctowl glides silently, wings stretching in the gentle breeze. Though the night's protective spirits have begun to fade, their lingering presence is felt in every glowing moss patch and swaying fern. A faint shimmer of leftover mist clings to the forest floor, as if the night itself is reluctant to leave. Every corner of the clearing feels safe, filled with warmth, companionship, and subtle reminders that the Pokémon are protected. Exploring the sunlit forest, Eevee pads closer to Shinx and Togepi, nuzzling gently against the soft moss. Shinx flicks its tail in welcome, and Togepi giggles softly, forming a cozy little circle. The golden light filters through the tree, touching their fur, shell, and tail, bringing a gentle warmth that seeps into their hearts. Even the forest seems to lean closer, leaves bending slightly to let more sunlight through, illuminating each safe nook and comforting space. The comfort of companionship. As the Pokémon wander slowly through the clearing, they notice small details they had missed during the night. Tiny mushrooms glowing faintly in the morning dew. Moss-covered logs shaped like soft pillows. Gentle streams reflecting sunlight like liquid gold. The forest feels alive in a kind, protective way, reminding the little Pokémon that even after darkness, warmth and safety remain. Each step, each sniff, each twitch of a tail reinforces the sense of comfort and calm. A circle of reassurance. Shinx, Togepi, and Eevee curl together under a softly lit tree, enjoying the gentle warmth of friendship and morning light. Nearby, other little Pokémon, perhaps a timid Fampi or Cyndaquil, pad softly to join them, drawn by the sense of safety and companionship. The forest hums quietly, leaves rustling in gentle acknowledgement. The morning light does not chase away comfort. It enhances it, wrapping every Pokémon in calm, peace, and reassurance. The promise of a safe day. The golden sunlight spreads further, bathing the clearing in a gentle glow. The Pokémon breathe slowly, hearts calm, bodies relaxed. Even as night ends, the lessons of the dark linger. Companionship brings warmth. Guardians can be unseen. Even the quietest, darkest places can be safe. The forest whispers softly, leaves swaying in harmony with the gentle hum of reassurance. The golden sunlight filters fully through the trees now, touching every leaf, branch, and patch of moss with soft warmth. Mist curls slowly, but the glow of morning transforms it into delicate threads of light rather than shadows of the night. The forest seems alive in a gentle, welcoming way, as if every plant and stone is breathing softly with calm. Little Pokémon stir. Shinx stretches and flicks its tail, blinking sleepily at the sunlight. Togepi lets out a quiet giggle, hands resting gently on mossy ground. Eevee pads softly over the dew-kissed earth, tail swishing lazily. Nearby, a shy Phanpy emerges from the shadow of a log, slowly joining the group. Each Pokémon moves carefully, noticing the warmth of friends, the sunlight, and the soft hum of the forest around them. Morning Guardians. Though the night's protective spirits have faded, their presence is still felt. Tiny, glowing moss still warms the Pokémon's paws. Soft breezes carry the whisper of calm and safety. Even distant shadows seem gentle, providing comfort instead of fear. The forest hums in quiet reassurance, a soft melody that echoes in the hearts of the little Pokémon. Exploring together. The Pokémon begin to explore the clearing slowly, moving together as a small group. Shinx pads beside Togepi. Ivy nuzzles gently against Phanpy. Small mushrooms glisten in the dew. Moss-covered rocks make soft resting spots. Every movement feels safe. Every touch of light feels like a hug. Even the tiniest details of the forest, once hidden in darkness, now glow warmly, reinforcing calm and reassurance. The circle of morning comfort. After a while, the little Pokémon settle under a gently sloping tree, forming a cozy cluster. Shinx curls near Togepi. Eevee leans against Phanpy, and even the mossy ground seems to cradle them softly. The sunlight filters through the leaves above, dappling the group in gentle golden light. The forest hums, leaves swaying in rhythm with a gentle lullaby of morning reassurance. Even the most timid Pokémon feel warmth and calm as they share this peaceful moment together. Whispers of safety. The forest seems to whisper. The darkness is past. You are safe. You are cared for. You are not alone. The little Pokémon close their eyes briefly, breathing slowly and deeply. Every leaf, every sunbeam, every rustle in the distance feels like a soft embrace. The comfort of companionship, the warmth of the morning, and the lingering protection of the night's spirits combine into a soothing cocoon for them all. Emotional reassurance. The Pokémon's hearts feel light, their bodies relaxed. Even those who were lost or unsure during the night now understand. The night can end in safety. Darkness can be filled with kindness. Companionship and guardianship exist even in quiet, unseen forms. The forest seems to echo these truths, reinforcing calm and emotional closure. The forest is bathed in soft, golden sunlight. Every leaf glows, every patch of moss shimmers with dew, and the gentle hum of the forest carries warmth and calm. Shadows from the night have faded completely, leaving behind a landscape of reassurance and safety. Their stirring little hearts, Shinx stretches its legs and flicks its tail lazily, blinking at the brightening world. Togepi lets out a tiny giggle, hands brushing over soft moss, feeling the warmth of the sun. Eevee pads softly beside them, sniffing at dew-kissed leaves and tiny wildflowers glimmering in the light. A shy Phanpy emerges from behind a tree, encouraged by the presence of friends and the gentle glow of morning. Following gentle paths, the little Pokémon begin to wander slowly through the sunlit clearing, exploring carefully but confidently. Shinx leads the way, tail flicking in this curiosity. Togepi waddles beside it, hands brushing leaves and soft moss. Eevee curls near Phanpy, providing comfort through companionship. Sunlight creates soft pathways through the trees, guiding them naturally, illuminating each step and ensuring they remain safe. Moments of reassurance. The forest seems alive with gentle care. Birds chirp softly, adding a lullaby of melody to the morning. Leaves rustle in the warm breeze, whispering calm. Tiny streams glint like gold, reflecting sunlight and the reassurance of safety. Even the smallest details, dewdrops glistening on a leaf, mushrooms glowing faintly in the moss, carry a comforting message. You are safe here. A circle of friends. The little Pokémon settle beneath a large, sun-dappled tree, forming a cozy group. Shinx curls near Togepi. Eevee rests beside Phanpy. Tiny mossy rocks serve as soft pillows. The gentle warmth of the sun bathes them all. Every movement, every shift, reinforces companionship and security. The forest seems to hum in harmony with their calm, each rustle and sunbeam a reminder of safety and love, gentle guidance from nature. Sunlight falls in soft rays, highlighting paths and safe spaces throughout the forest. Even timid Pokémon who might have wandered hesitate no longer. They can see the way clearly, and the warmth of friends and sunlight guides them naturally. Each step is filled with calm assurance. Each breath of air carries peace and comfort. Soft emotional closure. The little Pokémon pause, taking a moment to rest and enjoy the warmth of the morning together. Their hearts feel full, their bodies relaxed. Even those who had been nervous during the night now feel completely safe, surrounded by companionship, sunlight, and the gentle reassurance of the forest. The forest whispers softly. The darkness is past. You are safe. You are cared for. You are never alone. The sun rises higher, casting soft golden light across the forest floor. Mist has mostly lifted, leaving behind dew-kissed moss, sparkling leaves, and gentle rays illuminating the clearing. The forest hums quietly with life, carrying a calm, reassuring energy that encourages every little Pokémon to feel safe and at peace. Little Pokémon, awaken. Shinx stretches, flicking its tail lazily, eyes blinking at the warm sunlight. Togepi wiggles gently, giggling as it feels the soft moss beneath its hands. Eevee pads closer, tail swishing, sniffing at the tiny flowers and glowing mushrooms dotting the clearing. Nearby, Phanpy steps out shyly from a log, reassured by the presence of friends and the gentle morning light. Even timid or sleepy Pokémon begin to feel confidence in this safe, sunlit forest. Morning companionship. The Pokémon begin to explore the clearing slowly, following natural pathways created by sunlight and open spaces. Shinx pads ahead carefully, tail flicking with curiosity. Togepi waddles beside it, occasionally brushing soft moss. Eevee curls near Phanpy, offering warmth and reassurance. The sunlight highlights every step, guiding them safely while warming their tiny bodies and hearts. signs of comfort. The forest itself seems alive with reassurance. Birds chirp softly, their melodies blending with the rustle of leaves. Streams glint in sunlight, reflecting gold and silver. Gentle breezes carry the scent of dew and blossoms, calming every heart. Even the tiniest movements, a leaf swaying, a sunbeam drifting, remind the little Pokémon that this space is safe, calm, and nurturing. A cozy gathering. Eventually, the Pokémon return to a shaded, sun-dappled clearing to rest. Shinx curls near Togepi. Eevee leans against Vampy. Small rocks and moss serve as soft, comfortable resting spots. Sunlight filters through the leaves, bathing the group in gentle warmth. The companions sigh contentedly, sharing quiet comfort, warmth, and the assurance of safety. Reassuring whispers. The forest seems to whisper in harmony with the morning light. The darkness has passed. You are safe. You are cared for. You are never alone. Even the most timid Pokémon feel this reassurance in their hearts, understanding that the forest, friends, and gentle light are here to protect them. Calm exploration. With newfound courage and comfort, the little Pokémon wander slowly through the clearing. Shinx investigates a patch of moss. Togepi explores near a stream. Eevee sniffs the flowers. Vampy waddles curiously but safely beside its friends. Every movement is gentle, slow, and full of calm. The golden morning light and companionship transform the forest into a serene, nurturing space. Preparing for emotional closure. The Pokémon pause once more under a large sunlit tree. They curl together, sharing warmth, companionship, and calm. Their hearts are light, their minds peaceful, and their bodies relaxed. The forest, now fully bathed in morning light, hums softly in approval, carrying the promise of safety and emotional closure. The sun rises fully now, spilling warm, golden light across every tree, leaf, and patch of moss. Mist has lifted completely, leaving the forest sparkling in hot, welcoming hues. The shadows of night have vanished, replaced by light that feels gentle, protective, and calm. Little Pokémon awaken fully. Shinx stretches its legs, tail flicking happily, eyes bright and alert. Togepi giggles softly, hands brushing moss and tiny flowers, basking in the warmth of the sunlight. Eevee pads over the dewy ground, sniffing the sweet scent of blossoms. Vampy waddles out from behind a log, smiling shyly as it joins the small group of friends. Even the timid Pokémon feel courage now, guided by sunlight, friendship, and the memory of the night's protection. Morning companions, together. The little Pokémon gather in a cozy circle under a sun-dappled tree. Shinx curls beside Togepi. Eevee leans gently against Vampy. Moss and rocks serve as soft, natural pillows. The sunlight bathes them in warmth, creating a comforting, safe space. The forest hums softly, leaves swaying with a gentle breeze, affirming their safety and the calm of the new day. Reassurance in the light. Even though the night has passed, its lessons linger. Companionship is powerful. Guardians can appear in unexpected forms. Even dark or quiet places can be filled with kindness. The little Pokémon close their eyes for a moment, breathing slowly, feeling the reassurance that they are protected and cared for. Exploring the sunlit forest. With hearts full of calm and curiosity, the Pokémon begin to wander the clearing. Shinx investigates a patch of soft moss. Togepi waddles to a sparkling stream, giggling. Eevee sniffs flowers and small mushrooms. Vampy pads along safely beside its friends. The sunlight guides every step. and the presence of companions ensures comfort and courage. Even the forest itself seems to embrace them, offering warmth, calm, and gentle reassurance at every turn. A circle of emotional closure. After a gentle exploration, the little Pokémon return to their favorite sunlit clearing. They settle together, sharing warmth and friendship. The golden light surrounds them, carrying the lingering sense of protection from the night. The forest whispers softly in harmony. You are safe. You are cared for. You are never alone. The world is calm and gentle. Final moments of peace. The Pokémon close their eyes, tails, and hands brushing, hearts full, bodies relaxed. Every leaf, every sunbeam, every rustle of the forest contributes to a feeling of ultimate comfort and emotional closure. Even timid or nervous hearts are now calm, soothed by companionship, sunlight, and the memory of gentle protection throughout the night. The forest holds them gently as the morning continues, ensuring that they awaken fully into the day with calm, warmth, and security. A lasting embrace. Before venturing farther into the forest, the Pokémon pause one last time. They glance at the trees, the moss, and the sparkling streams. Though the night's guardians have faded and the shadows are gone, the comfort, companionship, and reassurance remain. The forest, friends, and sunlight all combine to give them a lasting sense of peace and calm. The day begins fully, but the warmth of night's protection lingers in their hearts forever.